again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your Sunday's Talking Town. I'm your host, the Gov. Looking forward to hearing all of your thoughts and feelings following what was a disappointing result last night on the television, losing 2-0 away to West Brom. And as always, this is the platform that's for the fans, by the fans, and we're really going to hand it over to you, wonderful people at home this evening, to have your say. There'll be a live link coming very shortly. There's the live chat to get involved in, so whatever your opinion, whether you have a rant, a rave, a moan, positivity, whatever you're feeling this evening, let us know, get active and have your say in only the way you can, using your own words. It's your opinion, so express it. Apologies on being slightly later than we usually are on a Sunday. Somebody forgot to remember that they were going to a Christmas market this afternoon. Hands up if that was you. Oh, wait, that was me. Yeah, that's right. So apologies, but we're live. Let us know what you're thinking, you're feeling. Hit the like button, subscribe. And if you want to support the platform that's for the fans, by the fans, you can do so through Kofi or hitting the join button on YouTube. $4.99, cancel at any point. We call them the fifth standards here because they really are the backbone that drives everything we do on the channel. We couldn't broadcast without them. So absolutely thank you to every single fifth stander who there currently is. If you wish to join that elite group of human beings, then you can do so by hitting the link. AD says, evening, everyone, who's one of our fifth standers. Shame out the result. We go again on Wednesday. Nick, awful match, but maybe it's a blessing. We knew a loss was coming. Paul Smith, good evening, Town fans. Still second from top. Who wouldn't take that? Good win against the Lions on Wednesday. Puts the pressure back on the teams below us. Colin, not disappointing as being at the Hawthorns. We suck it up and we go again on Wednesday. I don't know. I'm just as disappointed, even though I wasn't there, Colin. I can firmly assure you of that. Chris McTaggart, good morning from Queenstown, New Zealand. Good morning. Relax, everyone. It's just 2 out of 17. We could be Wednesday. Yes, that's a yeah. Shy. Biggest disappointment is we didn't turn up. Went down with a whimper on TV in front of everyone. Woody Wood, who has a great osteo, by the way, in Stowmarket Osteopaths. That's a great segue, Woody. I'm glad you commented. Stowmarket Osteopaths, one of our business partners. Call 01449 613 633 for all osteopathy and physiotherapy treatment. I go there myself. Woody Wood confirms on Wednesday that he went there or goes there, so I could speak highly about it, and I'm sure Woody would as well. But yeah, call up, tell Freddie the Gov sent you, and yeah, have a great time. Streaky 94. We were poor, and this was always going to happen at some point soon, and so was the expected overreaction by some. Has there been an overreaction, or has there been a reaction to a perceived overreaction that didn't really come? I'd like to know, because I've seen a lot of people saying about the overreaction, but I've not seen as many overreaction messages. Let me know how many you've seen. Maybe the funniest one you saw, I don't know. And as always, if you're watching on Catch Up, FTA, comment for the algorithm. Drop a comment, whatever it is. Let the algorithm know you're interacting with this wonderful video, this wonderful platform, as I introduce one of my co-hosts. The media mogul.
We've just lost the teenagers. It's absolutely embarrassing.
Matt Phillips. Good evening, Matthew. How are you?
Good evening. Is it my internet has gone all Dagenham Dave? Was yours? You just sort of cut
no
out
idea. I think I'm okay.
Tell us in the comments, everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, I'm okay.
If you're having issues, let us know. Are you well? How's your day been?
It's been a day of ironing. It's been a day of washing. So not particularly interesting.
The best day.
In between, sandwiched between that, it was Spurs versus Villa, which I enjoyed watching. That was a good game. I like what Spurs are doing, but they've started falling away. They went 1-up and lost 2-1 to the Villa, who else are now in the title frame. Fourth in the Premier League, I believe.
So, the top four conversation. I didn't see much of the game. I saw the last sort of 5 minutes, and then I saw Roy Keane describe Spurs' defending as very Spursy.
Yeah, that made me chuckle. And bloody hell, I saw the goal for Man United Everton. Garnacho, what a finish! Did you see it?
I've seen you. Well, you've posted it in the WhatsApp group, so yes, I did.
Yeah, did you get time to see it? Unbelievable. I was like what Rich rightly said. While Rich was at the Royal Albert Hall this evening, everybody.
Oh, so ribeye steak, gentlemen.
Yeah. He gets invited to these.
£48 that ribeye steak, you know. I saw it.
Yeah, that ribeye steak. Yeah, it looked very good, didn't it? He said it looked just like the Rooney versus Man City goal, which it was. But do you know what I thought it would look like? It looked like prime Johnny Walk overhead kick from the edge of the box. I loved it. It was a great game.
I think Manuel Fetus did it better at West Brom, but sadly, we had no such luck yesterday. Do you see how I brought that round, ladies and gentlemen?
That's because you're a professional, you see.
Well, I do try, but no, sadly,
I don't like to blow my own trumpet.
No. Oh, well. 2-0, West Brom ran out. Comfortable winners in the end, really.
Yeah, look, we was all gutted, weren't we? But what did everyone watch the show Wednesday? What did Chris say to us? Don't concede. I know the opening goal.
But we knew we would. But we knew we would. This is what we do. Fast start Ipswich.
This. I mean, look, we could sit here and go through the match and say who did this wrong and who was crap and who needs replacing for Wednesday.
Nobody.
But
calm down.
The bigger picture for me is that's now 6 games in all competitions that we've now conceded the first goal and pretty quickly as well. So that's a huge thing. Now, whether or not there's a change in defence, is there a change in goalkeeper? Me and Colin were chatting about this earlier today. It's all up for debate, isn't it? I don't know. I don't know why we keep conceding that first goal. But I mean, against the Carlos Corberán team, as Chris told us, if you concede first against them, it's going to be really difficult. And he said, I think we had an XG. I know you hate that, Martin, but I think our XG going into the game was something like just shy of 3, something daft. Yesterday was 0.9, on which I think 50% of that was the Scarlet shot. So they shut us down, and we have to accept it, and we have to suck it up, and we'll go again Wednesday against Millwall. But I've said it here before, in MMA, they say win or learn. And we didn't win the game. We've had a good look at West Bromwich Albion. We didn't have the creativity to get through them. They shut us down completely. Fair play and congratulations to them. But we do play them again. Who knows? We may even play them in the playoffs. So we've had a good look at them. And McKenna, with the analytical mind and the people that he's got around him on the coaching staff, we'll look at that and see how we can improve for the future. So there is a positive there. There is a positive there. I don't think, as Chris said, I doubt we'll come up against a team that defensively good again this season.
Well, we certainly haven't done yet, and we've nearly,
absolutely.
Nearly gone through half of the season, in terms of 23 games coming up, not too far away. And I've not seen a defensive team, a team as good as defensively as West Brom. They immediately shut us down once they went to goal. I mean, even before that, we were starting to get a few openings maybe in that first 15, 20 minutes. But the moment the goal went in, I mean, well,
all our pivotal players were just They just, it was kryptonite. Morsey barely on the ball. Taylor anonymous.
I agree with that.
I mean, I'm not pointing fingers at anybody here, but these were the contributions. Connor Chaplin, you barely knew was on the pitch.
All right. Jeffrey Cooper says, disappointing, but we're going to lose games. McKenna keeps saying, we'll learn from this every week, but they don't seem to learn about letting early goals in.
That is the frustration, isn't it? That's the big thing we've got. I mean, why we've started doing that, I don't know. Have we played up against a better calibre of opposition? Don't know. I mean, the Morgan Whittaker goal for Plymouth, I mean, what a finish. I see he did that again at the weekend. You're coming up against quality teams. But, I mean, I would say maybe 3 games on the bounce. You think, okay, bad luck, bad defending.
I think it's 6 games, isn't it?
Now 6. Now 6. I think there is probably an issue there. Should there be a change in defence? Don't know. Do we put the same team again against Millwall? It's up to McKenna. I don't bloody know. I'm just sat here as a punter.
I'll branch out into the comments in a second. I'll branch that question at that point into 2 or 3 different questions. First of all, I asked Curtis last night on the post-game show, is it now just that's a part of our season's DNA, if you like, because it's an all different manner of goals you're conceding. It's not the same type, so it's not like it's a set piece or whatever. It's all different manner of goals that you've conceded. The only thing in common is they've all been early, 6 games. Is that now just a part of the DNA of the season of who we perhaps are as a team? Perhaps we are a sluggish team out of the traps, but we get going because our stats later in games are very much role reverse to that. We are red hot normally, and we are one of the leading teams, if not the leading team, in the last 15, 10 minutes of games. So is this a part of who we are, that we start a little bit sluggish now?
I mean, maybe, but I don't think that's much of an excuse, quite frankly. I mean, surely at the start of the game is when you should be the most concentrated. It's quite interesting to me. Like, I don't want to single Wolfenden out particularly.
But you're going to anyway.
But I'm going to.
No offense, but
it was very interesting to me, the difference in his approach and character in the tunnel compared to Morsey. So the camera's on Morsey. You could see him staring straight ahead. He's got the kid with the mascot kid with him, and he said hello to go. But there was fire in his eyes. Wolfen done up the further back because it goes upstairs at the Hawthorns. You could see him further. Look, like he's waiting for a bus. That's not, leaning against the bloody bus stop. That didn't look like someone who was ready to rock and roll into the championship, probably the hardest game of the season.
That's nonsense to me.
You see the the fire in Roy Keane's eyes when he used to leave Man United out. Well, I love Wolfie, and we've heard he's a bit of a space cadet, and they've said that players have said that about him in an amusing fashion. But I don't know. It did, and in bloody hell, within 5, we've gone 1 down. I don't know. I would just like to see a little bit more concentration there ahead of the game. Cross arms, leaning against the wall.
I disagree.
That's not about to go to battle to me. That's waiting for a bloody bus into Ipswich Town Centre to get your shopping in.
You're well entitled to your opinion there, right? Matthew. You're well entitled to your opinion there, Matthew. But I disagree with it wholeheartedly, and I'd love to see what the chat.
Well, I'm surprised. I'm surprised you disagree with that.
Well, I just don't think body language is a statement of readiness in football players. I think it's you could go the other way. You could take that and go, he's relaxed, he's in the zone, he's not tense, he's not feeling the moment, he's in the moment.
Feel the bloody moment. You're about to go in front of 25,000 at the Hawthorns on Sky TV. Feel the bloody moment. You didn't see Roy Keane sit there with a bloody arms crossed, did you?
I mean, Roy Keane,
he was ready to rock.
And
that's why he won. Martin, will you let me finish?
And no, because Roy Keane's
won titles.
Well, he didn't win him on his own, Matt. He didn't. And this is that good. I mean, he didn't win him on his own. He had quality players around it. I disagree. I love to see what the chat thinks. We'll come to the chat in a second.
Listen, I really like Wolfie, but that just I've got that in my mind when the game started. I was thinking, is he ready to go? Is he ready to go? I don't think you'd see Twanzebe with his arms crossed and leaning against the wall.
Well, no, but he's playing Champions League games, isn't he, Matt? So he's prepared. He's ready.
He's captain Man United. He's played at the Heights. They're facts, and facts don't care for your feelings, Martin.
They certainly don't. An overreaction. We were poor yesterday. We have taken the plaudits and can be honest and say we were at the races, but it's how we respond that counts. Adrian says Leeds and Leicester lose games. It's going to happen to the best. Well, it did last night, Adrian, because we are the best and it happened to us. Dominic, I would drop Wolfie and Williams on Wednesday and Mass in for Taylor. We massively need another striker.
Williams was poor. He was poor yesterday. I do agree with that.
He looked a bit rusty.
The whole team looked poor, quite frankly. I mean, this is, I'm not singling Wolfie out on his performance. I just want to see a little bit more. On the back of 6 games where you've conceded first, and a lot of the goals have come centrally, I would like to see the defence and our players a little bit more fired up for the game rather than relaxed.
Well, you say that, but Rotherham's opening goal came from an almost very similar goal situation to West Brom's opening goal. No, well. But from a cross into the box, you could say if you're going down that avenue that you're perhaps tactically too wide open down that left, that you're allowing too many teams the opportunity to get to the byline in behind your marauding left back.
Stakes are high, mine. These are big games. You're live on Sky 5:30. You're at the Hawthorns. You're not at bloody Forest Green Rovers. I just want to see people a bit fired up and ready for the game, ready to go and get another 3 points on the board when you're 7 clear or whatever it is of Leeds in second place and just behind Leicester. I was just expecting a little bit more maybe, but I wouldn't say Wolfie was a completely fault on the goal. In actual fact, I would say the opening goal was Broadhead and Leif Davis. They both let the kid go and he scores the header, of which Sky said that was very lucky to go in. Most of the times you'll see them glances headers that will actually go past the post, but there we go. We had enough orange shirts in the box, quite frankly, to deal with that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So Gary M, one side of the 46-piece cake that didn't taste so good. Let's get back on track on Wednesday against Millwall.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I've just completely misremembered West Brom's first goal. It was from a corner, not from a cross.
That's what I'm saying. I
don't know what game I was thinking. I don't know what game I was thinking about with West Brom. As you were talking and you mentioned it, and in my brain went, it was ball in the box from a corner. Hang on,
they didn't
ball in the box from a corner. That was nothing like Rotherham's first goal. It was like that moment. I'm sure you can probably see it live on the video when my brain.
The Rotherham goal was right flank, wasn't it, into the middle, and Twanzebe got beat. Yesterday was the corner. They didn't have to work hard for the goals, did they? West Brom, they've scored within 5 minutes of the first half and 3 minutes of the second half. And that was a counter-attack. The second half one.
No, we can see so many early goals. They're starting to merge into one. Like I'm just starting to see one goal on replay.
But those regardless, I still think we'd have lost. And what about my namesake? Missed from about. I would have put that away, by the way. That ball into the box, and Matt Phillips hits his leg, bounces out for a bleed and throw in. I'd have stuck that away from there.
Yeah, well, thankfully you weren't playing. But apologies there, I'm misremembering the West Brom first goal. So that first goal is a corner. Leif Davis loses his man. Taylor, I think, is at the back post shepherding West Brom player. Nobody on the post.
Broadhead was didn't pick it up. But look, they know this. They don't need bloody me telling them. They'd have been told this by McKenna. Do you know what I mean? It's just frustrating because Chris told us, don't concede the first goal. I'm sure McKenna said, if we concede the first goal, we're in trouble. And within 5 minutes, they're travelling 2,500 or whatever it is. Conceded the first. Oh, there you go. Look, stupid comedy. That's not stupid at all. Nice to hear a passionate Matt. It's been a while. I get slagged if I get too passionate because I start calling for the manager to go out.
Don't be doing something like that when you're this earlier.
Get him gone. Get him gone.
He's not top by 10 points. Get him. Ridiculous.
Do you know, Chris told me today he went through, he's got a little love for the town. He loves all the talking town community. And I know everyone enjoys his cameos on it. He said that was the first game. So that was McKenna's 100th game, right? That was the first game since Sheffield Wednesday away when we lost 1-0. Do you remember when El Miz was in midfield? That we haven't had a shot on target in the whole 90 minutes. I mean, that's a lot of games between, you know what I mean? It's only happened twice in 100 games. I mean, look, it's a fair play to Kieran, but I don't know. It was just, we've come up against a really good team. What the bloody hell they were doing in 7th at kickoff? God only knows. They've gone up to 5th now, and I expect them to stay around the top 6 or even break into the top 3.
Christo has come to my saviour. He says there was a similar attack just before the corner that West Brom did that was similar to what led to the first Rotherham goal. There you go. See, I'm that good. I'm remembering certain individual attacks in minutes. Cheers, Chris.
Well done.
Cheers, Chris.
We do know you haven't got the greatest memory.
Got too much going on in the old grey matter.
Well, this is the problem with genius, isn't it? You've got a lot to cram in. It's a problem I also have.
I'll let you know when I reach the IQ of 20. Lee says he also lost Broadhead too because he looked at him, and then in a split second was at the corner and the guy was gone.
This is a good team, right? This is a well-drilled, compact team. I mean, what was the stat before kickoff? Corberan had won 23 of 46 championship games. I think bloody hell. You know what I mean? That's 78 points.
What you can't do is sit here and take anything away from arguably one of the best teams we've played this season, if not the best, in the way they, because even Leeds, who are hot on our trail and parachute payments, quality players, they didn't nullify us in any way, shape, or form that West Brom did. Nobody has this year. West Brom, arguably pound for pound, was the best team we played this season 100%. Yesterday because they completely nullified us. Completely nullified us.
They really did. As Chris predicted.
But you can predict it, Matt, and you can do it against other sides. But this is a side that's red hot, scored in more or less every single game since the turn of the year, and doesn't get shut down. Sky were almost talking as if it was a matter of fact when Town get a goal back in this game, will it ignite them? And we just never really. They kept saying when if Town can get a goal, and I kept thinking to myself, get a goal. Get a shot on target is what I'm, what I'd look for first. Because you start stacking things, right? Shot on target, create chances, score the goal, get back in the game. We just nullified. It was a really good performance from West Brom. Really good.
It was really good. They will certainly be top 6, even better, maybe. We'll just have to wait and see. But we've been great too. Let's not forget this. We're heading into the last week of November. We've been really good. We're the top scorers in the league still. We've been electric. We've got 2 home games coming up. I mean, you couldn't ask. Do you remember when after the Bristol Rovers game and I was like spitting feathers and I wanted everyone sacked, including you, Martin? And then we had Forest Green, didn't we? And that was the perfect response. And now we've got Millwall. They've been done 3-0 at the Den yesterday. And we've got them at home under lights at Pulman Road Wednesday. That's a really good fixture for us to go into and see if we can get a little bit of momentum back. And then into Coventry on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. Paul P, I'm wondering if opposition teams have begun to work us out. We haven't been at our best for a while, performance-wise, although results have held up until recently.
Until another team comes along and can defend us like West Brom did, I don't believe that. I still think our goal threat is going to kill the majority of teams in this division, as we've seen already. Yeah,
Archie says, Matt, you may need a trip to stomach at osteopaths after that rant. Perhaps you could take Wolfie
Well, do you know what? I actually looked up Chelmsford osteopaths today, and I've got a little bit of a niggle there.
Don't be going now. Go to Stone Market osteopaths. I'm on 459.
It's a bit of a trek for me, to be fair. Although the train from
you go
Chelmsford
for the
does stop
best.
there. Does stop at Staymarket. You could pick me up, couldn't you? I head down there.
Not a chance. Not a chance.
It's enough to get a phone call from Martin, everybody. Let alone get a lift.
There's a story here, ladies and gentlemen. I don't do phone calls, period. So if I phone you, it's an emergency.
Generally an emergency.
DEFCON 4. Is that the highest? DEFCON 4? Yeah.
It must be a 5, surely. Why would they stop
You would
at
have
4?
thought so. But let's say 5. DEFCON 5. If there isn't one, we've just created one, all right? We'll make one.
Yeah.
And if you phone me and I answer, that means I'm either really in trouble or just really bored.
Yeah, you're too busy to be bored normally. That's the only thing, isn't it?
How many times did you phone me this afternoon? Just tell
I
them all
called you. I can tell you, actually. I called you, I believe, 4 times. Yes, 4 times. You picked up on the 4th going. And then the irony was, of course, my phone then ran out of battery.
I saw all 4 come in. I just didn't want to answer it. So
God.
Oh, he's still phoning. Oh, he's still phoning. Stupid comedy.
Oh,
Still happy. That's the way it goes. Still happy with Radke in goal. Does he command his box like Walton? Is it because we have stepped up a level? Why are we leaking so many goals?
Well, look, me and Colin were chatting about this today. I mean, is there an argument for Walton to come back in? Be harsh on Hladky in me humble. Sometimes a goalkeeper's only as good as his defence, right? I mean, what's he supposed to do? you got a flash header on the edge of the 6-yard box, goes across you, 4 or 5 orange shirts in front. No one dealt with it. I still think you have to see a bit of a major rick or maybe a run of defeats for Walton to come back in. But at least we've got Walton on the bench, everyone. I mean, that's a great substitute to bring in if things happen. But I not at the moment, no. The biggest problem for us is why we're conceding so many goals so early in games. Because we've constantly got to climb Mount Everest. You don't want to be scoring 2 goals against the Carlos Corberán team. It's bleeding impossible with our looks of things.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Apart from Leeds, I can't think of too many instances where Hladky's been at fault.
Great. The following week, he was really good. The following week after Leeds, wasn't he? But I mean, that we were the architects of our own downfall in that. We got caught out by a team with Premier League players. That Joel Perret was making his debut when he was it 10, 11, 12 mil. They sucker punched us. You give them credit. They scored 3 goals in 10 minutes and the game was done. 100%. But we still scored 3 goals against them. If you'd said to me before the game started, you'll score 3 goals at Portman Road against Leeds. I mean, Jesus Christ, thought we'd have 3 points.
More times than not, you would expect us to. I think what goes on under the radar is actually Hladky's touch on Phillips's effort that he blazes wide when he should score to make it 3-0 almost immediately after the second goal.
I'd miss that, isn't it?
If you watch it back, Hladky actually gets a touch on that cross. And that little touch, for a forward steaming in, it's enough to change how you've got to move your body, to change your foot angle. It's enough. It wasn't the reason why he missed, but it's enough. And I look at Hladky's performances and I just think he's been one of the shining lights this year.
He's player of the year, sure. Is he not player of the year right now for everybody?
Story of the year, that's for sure.
Story of the year, yeah, absolutely. I'll totally agree with that. Fun fact: I had to interview Matt Phillips once. I think when he was at Wickham, he might have been on loan at Wickham, or we came through at Wickham. I thought he might get confused if I introduced myself as being Matt Phillips. Is that Matt Phillips? It's Matt Phillips here. So I just said my name.
So how did you introduce yourself?
I just said my name's Matt. Hi, Matt. It's Matt from the FA here. I'm here to interview you.
You missed a great opportunity. Ben Hobbs, Williams and Burns 1 booking away from suspension, resets after Coventry.
Oh, does it? We were wondering this the other night, weren't we? Is that when it is?
We were. Harp says, if we were to go up, how many players would we keep from last night's 11? Oh, good question. I might start that and come back to that.
Well,
that is a
all of them at the moment. I mean, bloody hell, you just played a really good side. I ain't ditching them all after 190 minutes.
Then Harps is saying about promotion, like you're going to the,
well,
Premier.
we've always said this, haven't we? We're then fishing in a different pond. we've said this before. I mean, just look at how Brighton have kind of evoluted us. I've seen an evolution. I don't know what the other word
is. Yeah.
Evolution over, from the Withdean era through to where they are at the Amex now and playing in the Premier League and now playing in Europe. I mean, they've just gone. That's the blueprint at the moment, I think, for Town. With very good recruitment. I mean, some of the players have bought through. You saw one come on loan. Was on loan at West Brom yesterday. The kid who come on, Mento, something like that. They're a very good player.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't have a John Swift plan, did they either? And then they bring him on. It's almost.
You should have heard when I told Chris. I phoned him up in the summer. And went, who's your best player again at West Brom? John Swift. He goes, yeah, we can't do that. I think we're signing him. Honestly, he was spluttering for minutes.
I can imagine he probably was. So Williams returned last night at the back four. You would change one of the two centre halves for Wednesday. Is that right?
Maybe. Look, I don't. Look, they've been great. Wolfenden and Burgess have been really good, but I mean, for some reason we keep conceding. Now, is that the fullback's fault when crosses are getting into the box? Is it? Look, we defend as a unit. Does that unit have to take responsibility? Do we think to ourselves, was it too much for Burgess yesterday to fly halfway around the bleeding world and come back again and play a game? Luongo didn't start, did he? But Burgess did. Don't know. Twanzabi's on the bench, raring to go. Good player, needs minutes. We've seen Wolfenden come out the side against Rotherham. That was a bit random. Look, I think they've been great, Wolfenden and Burgess this season. But for whatever reason, something probably needs to change. And I don't really know what it is. But for whatever reason, this team is conceding early goals and it's causing us a mountain to climb. And we keep saying, don't we? We can't keep going to the well and expecting to get points when you're conceding first so quickly. And we've done it for 6 games. Thank God we got the 7 points gap. I think 7, right? I've still got that right.
Yeah, 7 points.
So we've got the foundation, we've got the platform there. But, starting Wednesday, they need to eradicate that. I don't know how you do that. But that's why McKenna's the boss and I'm not.
Absolutely. Talking of platforms, the platform has partnered up with the East Anglian Air Ambulance and their Match Bingo game. Play Match Bingo, win cash prizes. Are you a sports enthusiast who loves football and cricket, wants to support life-saving work while having fun and winning cash prizes? Look no further. Match Bingo is the ultimate interactive game that lets you play alongside live football and cricket matches while raising funds for the East Anglian Air Ambulance, which is the most important bit there. Raising funds for East Anglian Air Ambulance. Don't forget, be gamble aware. Over 18s only. I tell you what, Matt, this was one of the bright sparks of my afternoon yesterday. I had 3 game cards. One was a free one.
Huh?
I just was sitting there watching them come in. One was Norwich QPR.
Yes.
And that got absolutely diddly nothing. One was Ipswich West Brom, and one was Leicester Watford. And I got to like 2 squares away from 2 lines in the Ipswich West Brom game. That was the highlight of the game for me, watching it and thinking, I just need one team here to hit the woodwork. Any one of you. And then when Phillips blazes it, don't just blaze it wide, Matty. Can you at least hit the woodwork next time?
Don't trust the Phillips is what I was saying.
I've often thought the same. But there you go.
Don't trust the Matt Phillips. Yeah.
How to play on the screen. And don't forget, it is supporting the East Anglian Air Ambulance. But please, be gamble aware. Over 18s only.
Talking of platforms, AD Croucher, friend of the show, occasional appearance after matches, has said there is a new fan group has formed. They're going all over the country. Fair play to them. The South Coast Tractor Boys, Martin.
It's funny you say their name and they appear just like magic.
Look at this. It's Kev.
All right, gents.
That
Hello,
is a
Matt.
hell of a shirt you've got. That's a great shirt you've got on there.
Yeah, Super Kieran McKenna.
Where would one buy? Where does one buy one of these?
I think I got that in the club shop.
Oh, did you? Love that. I'm not. I rarely get into the club shop these days. It's cute. I don't queue.
It was obviously his 100th game in charge yesterday, and he did a lovely video content for Town TV during the week. Have you got a favourite game from the McKenna 100 games, Kev?
It's got to be that Barnsley away last season, isn't it?
Magical moments.
It takes something to top that. Although I did miss the Hurst goal. I was down in the bar.
Oh, you're one of those poor people that swarmed up the stairs as we were celebrating the second goal. That was a magic moment. That
was a magic moment in itself, to be honest. Being down there with everyone, the scenes were just, oh my days. I've never felt concrete rattle so much.
No, that stand was bouncing. And that was the moment we all believed, right? That was the moment where the second goal, you firmly believed that we were there.
Yeah, and we're obviously still riding that crest of a wave up until yesterday. You know, we're outperforming what we should be doing, really. We were a League One club last season, you know, and I think that game yesterday really put us back in our place. So you know, I don't take too much from it, really. I kind of went into it expecting a bit of a loss. The key's now bouncing back, like Matt said earlier. I think if we get 3 points against Millwall and Coventry next week, that's 2 points average over the over the 3 games. So you can't go wrong with that, really.
No, and that's it. And you've got a great opportunity to do that with Coventry and Millwall both in the bottom half of the table. Obviously, Coventry were one of last year's playoff finalists, and they were a great side in the Championship. But you've got a great opportunity to really bounce back well, haven't you now?
Yeah, and that's something that McKenna's shown. I mean, I'm trying to think if we lost a back-to-back game since he's been with us.
Mm.
I'm not.
I don't think
I'm not
we
so
have.
sure. I don't think he has.
No, I think you're right.
So
Right,
I
Kev, yeah.
mean, if he can bounce straight back and do the job against Millwall, like obviously they got stuffed yesterday. So so yeah, I think we'll bounce back and it'll be back to winning ways again. So
Good man.
it's a tough
I would
December
agree with
coming
that.
up. So.
Oh, well, the games
How'd
come
they
thick and
tell me?
fast, don't they? It's what, 9 games in less than 40 days or something. I mean, I mean,
Yeah.
bloody hell. There's not a lot of time for training there, is it? Or getting injuries back if we are to get them. But I think, Kev, I think we have to be kind of like practical about this. We may look back at yesterday and think, actually, that was a blessing in disguise because we could have got a draw out that game, just for argument's sake, and wouldn't maybe have learnt much from it. But the fact that we came up against Carlos Corberán and his excellent defensive tactics will probably appeal to McKenna and his analytical mind. He's cut from the same cloth as Corberán, and I think that's probably something we will build on moving forward. But I certainly don't think we're going to come up against a team as good as that defensively for the rest of the. Well, other than when we play them again,
and physically as well. I mean, physically, they were
that
massive.
Kid Prater's unit, isn't it? Yeah, that Kid
Wowzers.
Unit.
Yeah. I likened it to Man v Boys, really.
They were really good.
It's one of them games that just comes along every now and then, and like I say,
Jed Wallace, good player, very good player.
He didn't get on the ball for a good hour though. I thought, but he took a little while to get into the game.
But he has impact, doesn't he?
Yeah,
immediate impact. That's what it is. But listen, we'll take our licks and we'll bounce back Wednesday. I certainly feel, like I said earlier, I certainly think Millwall's a great game for us. You've just been done 3-0 at home. That's a great game to under the lights of Bournemouth Road for us to get hopefully some confidence back and more goals. Get the XG back up, Martin. Your favourite stat.
Oh, just get that in the bin. Kev, before obviously you got the South Coast Tractor Boys logo there.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about this then before we let you go.
Yeah, so obviously myself, ex-forces, so sort of moved my family down to Portsmouth.
Brilliant.
And then met sort of a few other like-minded guys down this way, and we're up to sort of about 13 of us now.
Wow.
Sort of we've got Sully, who's AD's son, who's down in Brighton. We've got guys over towards Bournemouth. We've got Steve in Havant, Andy, who's sort of just moved up to Reading for work recently. There's a whole host of us, 13. We travel to pretty much every game, home and away.
That's great.
A combination of us live sharing. So been going since sort of 2022, really.
Awesome.
Really good group. Just wanted to get on the platform really, because as time's going on, there's sort of newer people that are they're not really aware of us, and so I'm just hoping this might reach out to a few more.
Yeah, brilliant.
So if I was living in the South Coast right now, if I was in Brighton or Bognor, as I will be in a couple of weeks' time,
nice.
Absolutely, mate. Seeing Father Christmas. What would I need to do to find out more information? How could I sign up, etc.?
So we have just set up a South Coast Tractor Boys Facebook page today, which it's a little bit behind the curve, but I did reach out to the official Ipswich Town supporters group, and we've actually had people contact myself through email.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so they're finding us somehow. So we've got a Facebook page, and we've just set up an Instagram page as well. So
love that.
The Facebook page is called South Coast Tractor Boys.
South Coast Tractor Boys, just that is, and then the Instagram is South Coast Tractor Boys ITFC.
Beautiful.
So,
all right. Well, if you're down,
you need some merch, Kev. Put that logo on some merch. I'll buy one.
Great shout.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your evening, Kev, and thanks ever so much.
Come and see us again.
Thanks for getting us on.
No problem at all. And if you're living in the South Coast, check out those Facebook and Instagram pages. Yeah, absolutely.
The old South Coast. Do you fancy a bit of South Coast living? The beaches, Bournemouth, Eastbourne, Brighton.
I love Suffolk too much. I love Suffolk too much, me, mate.
It is nice. And you're the other side of Suffolk, aren't you? But the East Coast has obviously got the coastline.
I mean, Suffolk's hardly the size of Chicago, where if I'm you're on one side, you're hours away from the other side. Like I might be what they call
Yeah.
mid Suffolk, but it's only half
Yeah.
an hour from East Coast Suffolk, Mate. Like,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
ain't
yeah.
talking hours away here. Like fix those.
No. Well, them country lanes. I remember driving up to
All right,
bloody,
Ed
what was
Sheeran,
it?
calm down.
Up to Lowestoft, so the A12 turned into a country lane. I thought, what the hell?
Yeah, it
It
does
took
that
bloody
to you.
hours.
Yeah, it does that. It goes past Wickham Market and
Yeah,
whatnot.
that's it.
Andrew, quick football. If we come up against another team like West Brom, is the best tactic, which is a great point actually, because I think I said to I think it was to yourself yesterday, where we weren't having the joy and the impact
No.
player we kind of was screaming out for,
You
Amari
said it.
Hutchinson, the real game changer in terms of pace and somebody who can get him behind. We just didn't have, because he was unwell. And you look at the bench, Harness, good player on his day, but pace isn't something you'd normally associate with him.
Yeah.
Caden Jackson's got a little bit of it, but
Rich said it summed it up a bit, didn't it? When he had that little break down the right and the ball went out for a goal kick, you could see the frustration on his face. It was just one of them days. I mean, yeah, Amari would have been good, I think, in that situation. Certainly, the pace would have been. I do wonder whether or not Harness is a better replacement for Chaplin than he is Broadhead. I mean, look, he scored both his goals essentially, didn't he, against Birmingham, to get back from 2-2.
Well, before I bring in the fisherman, let's talk about Broadhead. I've seen a couple of social media posts in regards to looking at January and replacements and what positions you're crying out for. I think I saw Broadhead's name mentioned a couple of times, and
what as a transfer or as
a position of perhaps you want to upgrade or improve upon, and that surprised me because for me he's the needle mover. It's impossible. It's like you're trying to improve upon perfection. But serious now, jokes aside, how have you seen his impact this year so far? And is that would you agree with those social media posts in regards to improving that position?
No. Well, I mean, look, mate. Look, I've just said I think Harness is a better replacement for Chaplin than I think he is for Broadhead. So maybe there is a gap there for a left-sided player off the bench. I mean, look, Broadhead didn't play that well yesterday. Like I say, I mean, he was maybe at fault for the goal. He couldn't really get onto the ball. His passing wasn't great. He's not a robot. He's been bloody brilliant for Ipswich Town. Fantastic. One of the first names on the team sheet. So we'll forgive him to have a bad game, or if he can't get into the game Wednesday or whatever. I'll forgive him that. I mean, he's after 46 games, you're going to have some off days. And yesterday was a bad day at the office for everybody, because we came up against a good team. But I thought he was quiet. I thought he would probably get subbed for Harness. That did happen. But maybe there is an argument there to considering I think Harness is better essentially. Maybe there is an argument there for a left-sided player to come in off the bench, or if Broadhead were to get injured, or whatever the situation may be.
I don't think I'd ever go against bringing another player in to compete with somebody. I'd never go against that grain of thought. I mean, I wanted the whole summer to bring somebody in on the right side to really
you did,
compete with to Burns.
Is Amari doing that for you? Is Amari doing that?
I think he's growing into it really well.
Yeah,
really well.
Makes
really
sense,
well.
yeah.
I'd like a third. I mean, if I was being greedy, I'd like a third piece just to
someone a bit more seasoned.
Well, if you have three of them, if you have one that's unwell like yesterday, you've still got that third.
Great,
KJ for me is a great professional, a good character, but it's probably where we will need to be heading is perhaps a little bit out of his ability level. Maybe is it fair to say?
He's had a great career at Ipswich Town. He's still here from the Hurst era. Still here for one or two players that got relegated, Danassian being the other. I mean, look, Janoid doesn't seem to be anywhere near the same at the moment, is he? Which is a shame for him. But, we said it was a bit of a renaissance for him. Yeah, I mean, maybe Caden is coming towards the end of his spell.
But in terms of Broadhead, I mean, 13 starts, 6 goals. Yes. He's had a good season. They all have had a good season, but particularly, I was surprised to see his name mentioned. Got a question.
No one moaning about Nathan Broadhead when he scored at Bristol City, for crying out loud.
Does he go missing? Opinion from Dom: does he go missing?
Well, I mean, sometimes you can only be as good as the passing you're receiving. I think our passing was very good yesterday, and the fact that they West Brom shut us down completely. I mean, it weren't by surprise that they, Morsey, Taylor, Chaplin, Broadhead could not get into the game. And that's because they had been highlighted by Cormoran, and he knew what the threat they would bring to the table. And he shut us down. We just have to accept it. There's no more than that. They could all have great games on Wednesday, and then the conversation is redundant again.
I would be I'd be focusing most of my efforts in trying to bring in a Connor Chaplin 2.0, somebody to Yeah, because I've always said it on this platform. He is our talisman. When he plays well, this team wins games more than it loses because everything goes through him. And yesterday, again, it highlighted for me when Chaplin's not on the ball, when Chaplin's not at the Chaplin best we know him to be, you don't create as much as you normally do. You don't have that same je ne sais quoi in the attack.
Okay.
4 positions, including Hurst. He's a real talisman for us, real important player. And we need to, I would be looking to try and, release some of that pressure in the sense of if he's not playing well, who can come off the bench to be that? And Harness has been good in periods this year.
I think he's good in that position. Yeah, I agree.
Is he a Connor Chaplin 2.0?
Probably,
not for me.
No, he's a different style, isn't he? He's a little bit more. Look, Connor's like a wasp, isn't he? Around your pint on a summer's day in the pub. He's just buzzing around the whole time. Whereupon Harness is a little bit more chilled. I've said before, I feel like he almost operates in his own world. He always seems to have loads of time on the ball and he can pick a pass and all that kind of thing. I think Connor's a little bit more of a busier player. But look, Harness ghosts in and scores goals. But look, Chaplin's fantastic around the box and in the D. That's why he scored 29 goals last season. But you'd have to pay big money to get someone in that's going to compete for that position centrally. I mean, look, we all like Semi Smodic. He scored at Portman Road. But you're probably looking at what upwards of 8 to 10 million to price him away from Blackburn. It would have to be, and then is someone who's content to sit on our bench actually even good enough for Ipswich? So I mean that's the conundrum you find yourself in the January window.
Well, yes, and the other conundrum with the January window is you're paying 2 sets of taxes as we enter this period. The first tax is, in fact, it's January, so January tax. Right? You want him in January where it's harder for me to get somebody else. That's at least 10-20% extra on the price. And then also you've got the tax of teams knowing where you are in the league table. They know the riches you're chasing. Yes, the promotion tax. Whether you pay up front with the promotion tax or whether it's we can let him go for X, but if you get promoted, we want Y and Z back. Yeah. Because teams aren't stupid. They look at you in a second, if it was today, 7 points clear, and they go, well, this player could put him over the edge. That's a lot of money coming into that football club based on promotion. How badly do you want him? How badly do you think he can move your needle? So you're paying 2 sets of taxes in January. Yeah,
I think you're spot on. I mean, what did Ashton say in the Stuart Watson interview? January is the seller's market. So you probably have to pinpoint a club that, hasn't got the kind of ownership we've got. One that looks like they could get relegated. One where agents are thinking, bloody hell, we could move away from this championship side and could be in the Premier League in the next 4 or 5 months. So I think you have to pick your targets sensibly. I think because you've got it's like a vulture in the desert. You're going to swoop down and prey on someone that is a bit vulnerable. That's probably how it works.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll go to Fisherman. Fisherman, welcome in. How you doing? What's your thoughts this evening?
All right.
Yeah, good guys. How you doing? All right.
Yeah, good. Good.
We're okay. How are you? What's your thoughts?
A bit bemused about some of the comments tonight. I got not just by you, but in the chat as well. Matt, what game were you watching where Williams was poor? I thought he was man of the match, mate. He was the only one running up.
Okay, fair enough.
He was the only one running up and down that pitch. I mean, I swear to God, I watched that game, and the reason why we lost to West Brom, right, was because they worked hard and we didn't.
I saw you put that in the Discord.
We were like an asthmatic snail and they weren't. Yeah. If we play to our potential and play to the standard that we know this team can play, West Brom wouldn't have had a chance against us yesterday. But the thing is, it's been coming. We've leaked 8 goals and only scored 7 in the last 4 games. We've won we've won 1 game in 4 now. We're on a bit of a blip. Defensively, I think we're all over the shop. Some of the positional play yesterday was shocking. Why weren't no one on the back post? That's basic 101 football.
Yeah.
There seems to be a lot of teams doing that right now, don't they? It looks like we're zonal market.
Zonal, yeah.
That ball comes in, right? If someone's on that back post, it doesn't score.
Agreed. Yep.
That is as simple as. And what the hell we were doing for the second goal. I think at one point it was 4-on-1, and it was only the fact that Williams got back made it 4-on-2.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So for me, look, I don't want to sound too negative because we're second, we're 7 points clear, and there's loads of games to play. I just feel that it weren't the fact that we were. It weren't the fact that West Brom were brilliant. I just felt that we were so poor, and we made them look a lot better because we weren't playing to the standard that we've been used to.
Mm-hmm.
we've been, I'm going to say this. I don't think Wolfenden is anywhere near the player he was last year. I really don't. I've looked I spent the afternoon looking at highlights of some of the goals we've conceded, and he's all over the shop. I would bring Transibi in. I really would. I'd bring Transibi in and I'd put Wolfie to the bench. Maybe rest him. Maybe get him out there. He needs to be a bit more aggressive with his play. He's too relaxed. And again, walking out with the ball. We need to score goals, and he's walking out with the ball. You know what I mean? Honestly, it was so frustrating. I couldn't get my head round, why we weren't pushed there. We've been saying this for ages. We've been doing so well this year by getting the ball, not direct as in over the top, but getting the ball quicker, faster, move it forward. If we'd have played that way yesterday, we'd have destroyed West Brom. But the problem is we didn't, and we played right into their hands. Luongo should have started. Taylor was a 2 at best yesterday. And if we want, Luongo has been a consistent 7 all the way across the board this season.
Agreed.
Them type of players you start every game. Yeah, them type of players we start every game. Taylor, for me, is still too raw to be put into this type of game. There was no way he was completely lost. And you could see it by the way that Morsey was playing. I've never seen Morsey have such a bad game. And it was, look, I get that we all have bad games. And we're just talking about this game. We're still second and 7 points clear of Leeds. Let's not forget that. But at the same time, we were allowed to say as fans, look, it weren't that West Brom were brilliant. It was just we were so poor.
Yeah.
If we're gonna walk the ball around the pitch, we're not going to get the ball forward. If we're going to play pacey, fast, moving football, which is what has got us into this position, West Brom, they're full of lumps, yes. But Brody, for me, hasn't been great for the last probably 4 or 5 games. I'd drop him. I'd bring Harness on. I really would, or Amari.
Okay,
Chaplin's been
your opinions. You're well entitled to your opinions there. Absolutely, lots to unpack. So,
I kind of agree with what Mike's saying. I think Town were poor, but I think West Brom were really good. I mean, let's not do them down. They controlled the whole game, Mike, didn't they?
Yeah, but no disrespect, right? But if we sent a team out playing walking football, a bunch of 50-year-olds would be.
It wasn't walking football, was it?
Good on a football pitch.
It wasn't walking football, was it?
Come on, it was at times, mine. I was stood here watching. I was like, "Are we actually going to run with the ball?" Because it felt like we were playing walking football rather than. Listen, we've been watching Town this season and the second half of last season, and we have been pacey, pressing, high press, real energetic game. Yesterday, asthmatic snail right across the board.
Okay,
but we did see that in the start of the Sunderland game, didn't we? Right at the top of the season, we could barely get out of our half. Do you remember? We put it down to nerves. But I mean, again, we got away with that one. Got the fluky goal, didn't we? For one thing, to go one up. But no, I see what Mike's saying. I can't disagree with a lot of that. I just think Corberan and West Brom was a really good team.
Before I let you go, Mike, I've got a request in the chat from Adi who says, "Cheer me up, Mike the Fisherman. Always love to hear you say, give your head a wobble." So can you look in the camera and say, "Adi, give your head a wobble"?
I tell you what, before I do that, right? I think the fans it came through the Sky TV like you wouldn't believe. We've got the ball. We've had a shot. That was the most disrespectful thing. I agree. If we were 5-0 down, okay, you have a bit of banter, and that's just how it is. But my God, just don't do that. Them fans need to give their heads a wobble.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Absolute head wobble. That I was like disgusted with that.
Yeah, and I agree with that.
There was no need for that. We were sitting second in the table. And I don't, like we said before, there's not one fan who actually genuinely believed we would be sitting second in the table right now. You know, with 7 points clear of Leeds. Leeds have had a bit of a wobble. I mean, I didn't expect them to draw to the Rotherham. I'll tell you that for nothing.
They've gone wobble crazy all of a sudden.
You know, so Aidy, give your head a wobble.
Brilliant. We love you, Mike. All the best.
All the best, guys.
Look after yourself.
Bye,
You know, it's
Mike.
a good season, Matt, when people say to you, like at church this morning, so what happened yesterday? And you're like, well, apparently there's this thing called defeats, which I didn't know existed in football.
Yeah, this is another thing called the opposition, but quite good. I certainly agree with what Mike's saying now. I think that was fickle in the extreme when they were singing that. I mean, I think, wasn't it Hull City were doing that against us in the 3-0? We've got the ball. But, you know, we don't need gallows humour. We're second in the table for crying out loud. 7 points clear of a Premier League side last season.
Yeah. What was
All
it?
that.
Yeah, I can't see the reason why you'd be singing.
Exactly.
We've had a shot or we've got the ball.
Yeah.
I've sung it, but don't get me wrong. Under previous managers, when we've been like
But these are not
18th in the table,
it's not
and
that was you're singing that to a promotion winning squad out of League One.
but you're sitting second in the
you know.
league. Like as I just said there, you know, genuinely,
Bad.
I forgot
Agreed.
there was a thing called defeats in football. Like it's been such a long time since we experienced one. Leeds back in August, before that, back in whenever.
First time we ain't scored a goal since Bristol Rovers.
Yeah,
Have a
it's
shot
a
at
weird
one.
feeling, this losing malarkey, isn't it? I don't
Yeah.
like it.
We're not
No,
used
they
to
don't
it.
like it. No, exactly. You know, they don't like it. But to say we've had a shot when you've scored what? How many goals we got this year? It's not like we're goal shy, is it? You got Cole Skew's top goal scorer on 1, or Freddie Sears with 5 or whatever. Like,
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Yeah, that was poor. That I mean, look, people were pissed off. Weather weren't great.
where were these people when Luke Varney was leading the line with Freddie Sears and Cole Skews
Yeah.
in midfield? Come on, like
Yeah, Douglas.
it's a 2-0 defeat at West Brom. It ain't a 2-0
Yeah.
defeat at Bristol Rovers
Rotherham.
or Lincoln. Like,
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, weird. Oh well, there you go. Let's have had a
There you
few
go.
drinks. Who knows?
but then again, the flip side is it's their money, it's their ticket. You can kind of sing.
I've never agreed to that. I've never agreed to that. I mean, you wouldn't turn up to a cinema and start chanting your film was shit, would you? I never really agreed to that. But I mean, I've paid me money. I'll do what I want. Well, no, I don't agree with that. You've embarrassed the fan base on Sky doing that. In my
So if you turn up to a theatre production or even a cinema, and the acting was shoddy, they forgot their lines, the stage fell down, like the props, you wouldn't boo towards the end of the presentation or go to the box office and demand your money back.
That's different.
That's different. No, it's not. No,
Because
yes, it is.
what you're describing there is a standalone performance.
Yes, it is.
From whenever
It is
you
very
play
different.
football, you've got to combat an opposition.
No, it's very different. It's very different.
You know what I mean?
I'm
But I
with
probably,
you, Matt.
if I'd played that in the West End, I would probably go and try and get a refund. If the
Yeah,
set
no,
fell
I'm with
down.
you. But I've got to try and represent another side of the view in the hosts. Yeah, 'cause,
yeah.
that's the rules of the chair. Phil Blundell, welcome in. How you doing?
Hello, Phil.
I'm feeling rather. I don't know what the
I don't know where
correct
Phil's gonna go with
term or word I should use to describe how I feel at the moment.
Were you there,
I mean,
Phil?
say-
Did you go to that one? Was
I
that one your
did,
away game?
and
You did?
just before you ask me another question, the coach journey on the way back from the Hawthorns last night summed up the day when we were due to stop at Cambridge Services for some food and drink. 20 miles or so before we got there, the lady on the coach said, "Oh, they've had to evacuate the building due to a fire." And it was McDonald's that was on fucking fire. Sorry, excuse
Oh
my
my God.
French.
Really?
So it summed up the day for me. Didn't
Language.
enjoy the
Come on.
game. Didn't enjoy the journey. Really knocked off when I got home.
Hmm.
And because I didn't eat anything at the game, I had something to eat.
It's quite good
just
Cambridge
so annoying.
services from memory.
Phil,
It's quite good Cambridge
Town
services.
have just lost the game on Sky, and you worry about your stomach, mate. Frankly, I'm appalled.
I'm sorry. I
Ooh.
do apologize. I'll get to it.
Rocky
Right,
McNugget.
Disgusted and appalled.
First thing
Oh.
I should say is that I don't agree with other Town fans saying, "Oh, West Brom being the best team we've played so far this season."
Well,
They're
Phil.
not. They're not. I don't agree with that.
Who is then? Who is
Look, if you look at the performances that we've had this season, you could have an argument for teams like Cardiff, like Blackburn, Leeds.
Beat him.
True,
Yeah,
but
I
it's
see.
the way
don't
they
know.
played. It was the way they played against us. You know, I was particularly impressed with
then? It was
both
a
Cardiff
defensive
and Blackburn.
masterclass, Phil. It was a defensive masterclass. They shut down the top scorers in the league to 0 shots on target.
It was so good,
True.
Phil. Somewhere, Mick McCarthy's got it on repeat.
All right,
watching it
okay, and
24/7.
all right, also, I've got a very big point to make, and also, right, coming off the back of an international break, as I
Yes.
understand it, McKenna didn't opt for a game for the other players during.
Oh,
No,
okay.
he
We've
didn't.
done that previously, haven't we?
Okay, yeah,
They went to
true.
Dubai, didn't they?
All right, okay. Yesterday, my opinion is that I think. Seriously, I think he's playing Taylor out of position. All right, he's not a sort of a central holding defensive creative midfielder. I think he should be challenging a place with Chappers more further forward because he's attack minded. We know what he can do. Okay, we've seen what he can do so far in the games that he's played so far this season. If he gets one good chance on the ball in and around the area, he's going to score it, and we all know it. And that's why I think he should be played further. Yesterday, for me, I would have started with Twanzebe, not Wolfie. Although I think Wolfie had a better game than Burgess yesterday because he saw more of the ball. I'm not saying that he did a lot with it. I'm saying there were times where he was hemmed in, and that's not entirely his own fault. But I think he did well considering. Yes, I think yesterday Town's worst game of the season easily so far this season. But if you look at the away performances that I've seen so far this season, we played poorly against Huddersfield and got a point. Played poorly for 75 minutes against Birmingham, got a point. The subs made a difference. Subs yesterday didn't make any difference whatsoever. And I've honest to God, right, West Brom do have got some good quality players, some Premier League experienced players there, and they shut us down midfield. I think Morsey and Taylor for me as a partnership doesn't quite work as well as Morsey and Luongo for me.
Agreed,
And I think for me, did we miss Hutchinson yesterday? I'm not so sure with the way we played, but I think I would have started with Twanzebe, and if honest to God, if we hadn't come off for this type of game, I would have partnered Baggett with Twanzebe and tried that partnership because for me, when he came on against Fulham in the League Cup, he played really well. I think if Walton hadn't let that third Fulham go through himself, and
bit different there, though, isn't it?
It's ifs and buts. But for me, I would like to see Baggett get to start a game or two. I'm not saying he should start against Leicester or Leeds or Norwich, but I'm just saying that I think because what he did yesterday was he started with Taylor knowing he's going to miss Maz from January and he's going to miss Cameron in January as well. We pretty much think they're both going to go off. So for me, I would have...
Baggett will go as well, Phil. Yeah,
true. Yeah, absolutely true. So
he needs minutes. I do agree with you there.
Yeah,
he doesn't need, whether or not starting him at the Hawthorns is the answer. He does need some more minutes. I
think there's probably a little bit of experimenting going on there, but yesterday for me, West Brom, Corbrand knew how to play and to set his team out, and we were very second best in midfield, and I was so angry when that second goal went in because I think we had a good chance just before they countered and scored, didn't we? Right at the start of the second half.
From their box, didn't
it? If it had gone in, ifs and buts, but hey ho. I would say I don't agree with fans saying, oh, we're punching above our weight, we're overachieving. Stuff that. We're not. I believe in McKenna. Okay. I trust McKenna. Okay. And this is how I feel about my team this season. I'm optimistic. I'm confident. I haven't felt this way in 18 years since that 2004-05 season. And even I could see it before the end of that season when we lost against West Ham, the players. I knew we would lose Kuki and Ben, and I could see Miller. Right, okay, so we missed that glorious opportunity. Now, in the position that we're in, we are in a stronger position now than what we were in 2005 in the league after 17 games. And if we stuff this up, 7 points ahead of Leeds, okay, 8 points ahead of Southampton, those teams have got some serious money to spend in January, okay? And if we don't capitalise on this season, I've said this to Cruncher and I've put it past him. Man City and Chelsea get relegated. We are stuffed next season. Come on, think about it, people. If you haven't considered, don't laugh. It's serious.
I don't think. What you talking about? The financial fair play in that?
It's a possibility. If Everton have got deducted 10 points from one charge, Man City are facing 115 charges. They're going to throw the book at them. The football league.
I don't think you're going to see that this season.
All right, okay. Look, it's far fetched. I know, but it's a possibility. It's a chance. All right. The football league threw the book at Luton when they were found out to have breached, I think,
it was the FA actually. I was
50
there.
chances, 50 rule breaches,
crazy.
and they
Yeah.
threw the book at them, and they ended up in non-league. Right?
Yes.
It could happen. I'm saying, look, there's okay, it might be minuscule or tiny or laughable in many Town fans, but it's a possibility. All right. Okay.
I think you're being overly optimistic at the speed in which they're going to process.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. You're quite right in what you're saying, but the speed of it, I don't
think about it. I mean, say, look, Everton, they overspent by £300 million, right? Okay,
Yeah.
and they've only got a 10-point deduction, and the pundits, the experts are saying, it's unfair. It's not unfair.
I've got more faith.
They seriously broke the FFP. We've got money to spend in January, and there's 2 or 3 players that I want to see Town move on. I'm say Luco, Evans, even JD. Look, I mean, say, come on, we could do better than that. We've got the money to spend. Why not we you out and get maybe a strong defensive-minded player?
Well, people want to buy them though, Phil. Of course. I mean, would go to League One, right?
January is a terrible time to spend money because it's always overinflated and it's a ridiculous time. And many clubs are already planning for the summer. Sorry, they already are planning for summer, and they probably would have been, inquired about players from other clubs. All right, okay. Look, I agree with what Mike was saying just before me, and it's very unusual for me to agree with what Mike was saying. He's absolutely bang on. By the way, we wish we were
a wobble, Phil.
We were SHIT yesterday, and West Brom didn't play that well. I would say all they did was to set up their stall, and the tactics that Corbrand used yesterday against us were effective. Okay, they scored from a set piece. Okay, if we're going to go back to conceding set piece goals like we did 2 seasons ago, then we're going to fall down the table. And to concede that counter attack. If I'd have been behind that player of the ball, I'd have taken his legs and taken a yellow for the team.
Yeah, Rich did ask that on the match reaction show, so that he was surprised.
And it just annoys me. Okay,
One last thing, Phil. One last thing before you go. Go on. One last thing. I know you got it in you, Phil. I know you got it in you. One last thing.
I've already mentioned everything I was going to mention tonight, right? But I'm going off on tonight because I'm cheesed off about yesterday. Look, I have got one more thing, and it's about the game of Wednesday, right? Okay, right. West Brom's home record. Before we played them yesterday, they'd only lost 1 in the 8 home games they played so far this season. And they were unlucky to lose that game, right? Mm-hmm. Millwall, similar sort of record away from the Den. They've lost 1 in 8 away games. And they've conceded the second fewest league goals. I think it's 7. I think it's only one more from Leicester.
That'd be good away.
Mm. Yeah. Leicester have only conceded 6 goals away from home. Millwall have only conceded 7 goals away from home. All right, they don't score that many, like us. But if we don't score the first goal on Wednesday and they score first, it could be another West Brom. And look, we need the bounce back ability. I know that McKenna's got it in him. I don't think we've ever lost 2 games on the bounce under his managership.
No, we mentioned this earlier. Yeah. No,
right. Okay. Yeah. So look, let's look forward to it. I'm looking forward to Wednesday. I'm looking forward to it. Unusual time with 8 o'clock kickoff. Yeah. Right. But look, 2 home games coming up now. Look, we need 6 points from the next 6. That will keep us, 2 points per game going, and it will keep everyone else at arm's length. But, I'm not worried about Leeds. I'm not worried about Southampton. I'm only worried about our fixtures, and I'm looking forward to the fixtures coming up. That was my one more thing. Oh, and one more thing. Last night, the coach, when AD got off the coach at Stowmarket, he said to me, "One more thing, Phil." Good night. Good night.
There you go. You see, you're famous for it, Phil. We love you. We appreciate it. Thanks for your comment. Oh, the best. I think he might be onto something.
He makes a good point there, Martin. He makes a good point. I mean, look, Millwall are 7th in the away table, 8 games, 13 points, but just above them is Hull, 9 games, 14 points, and we dispatched Hull pretty simply at Portman Road. So I mean, I wouldn't read too much into that, but certainly go into the Hawthorns yesterday. We thought it'd be a difficult game. It was a difficult game, and we got a bit of a lesson. But a lesson is good because we're still in second. We still got a nice foundation over Leeds in terms of points, and we can learn from yesterday. McKenna will learn from yesterday.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt, he's learned in every single one of his 100 that's gone before it, and he'll learn in that one. And I think with Phil's Jack Taylor point there, which is very interesting, and I think the Sky commentators themselves brought that up during the game about Jack Taylor being asked to play a little more deeper than perhaps he was asked.
They did say that. You're right. Yeah, they did say that, didn't they?
I just wonder how much of that is down to Lee Evans' injury. If Lee Evans was fit, would you perhaps see Jack Taylor deployed more as a Chaplin foil off the bench or for Chaplin, in different, and see him play further
forward? That seems too further forward for him, in my opinion. I mean, that's a good question though. If Evans was fit, would he be getting in the side over Taylor?
well, the only one piece of evidence we've got for the court, if you like, is Huddersfield, where it was Evans favoured over
And got
JT.
injured.
Sadly so. But I just wonder, hearing Phil's talk there and the Sky commentators, if Evans had stayed fit, how that dynamic would have played out. Because I've loved Jack Taylor. It's well documented how much I love Jack Taylor.
He scored 2 worldies for us this season already. Name Christmas yet?
And I play him every week. I play him every week in midfield next to Morsey. Just me though.
Well, I mean, again, he's a victim of being a young player that needs minutes, and this is the problem with football, isn't it? He's only 11 spots there. We're talking about, look, Phil's saying Bagger to get minutes. When is he expected to get minutes? And unless centre halves get injured or whatever, and ditto Taylor. If he's only got really in probably because Evans is injured.
Yeah, will Bart have a blinder on Wednesday? Another great question. Bart is second in the Goalkeeping Championship rating, says Mike the Fisherman. Oh, Bart, what
so he'll be in the sticks, will he? He'll be in the sticks, will he, Wednesday? I thought he was their backup keeper. Has he been playing? Did he play yesterday? Let's have a quick look.
I'm sure I think he has worked his way back into the lineup, if memory serves me correctly.
Why did you like him? While I'm doing this, why did you like him so much?
Just a phenomenal goalkeeper. Just a phenomenal. He's easily been our best goalkeeper in recent years. I can't think of. You liked his beard, did you have a little man crush? Was that what it was, really? 100%, yeah. But his beard was phenomenal. His hair was also pretty on point. But he's a great goalkeeper. A great goalkeeper.
He was in goal yesterday.
You don't win Player of the Year, 3-4 years in a row. I know we had terrible, years, but you don't win it 3-4 years in a row without being a phenomenal goalkeeper.
He's the only keeper I've ever voted for Player of the Year.
See,
he actually scored a 7 yesterday, and he's let in 3 goals. So he shows you must have made some decent saves. We should beat these Wednesday. I mean, look, bloody hell! I'm looking at some of their players. They've got George Honeyman, who's beat Sunderland. He's a decent player. That Bradshaw's supposed to be pretty decent up top. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, but I still think it's suited nicely for our style of play to play a team that's just got done 3-0 at home.
Yeah, as much as I love Bart, if he's playing Wednesday, we put 8 past him, 9 past him, 50 past him. Stick as many as we can in 90 minutes past him and win the game of football. That's what's the most important thing. Is right. We'll close with Colin. Colin, welcome in. How you doing?
Hi, Colin. You all right?
Good evening, Matt. Good evening, Gov. How are we all?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, we're okay. How are you? You obviously were at Hawthorns yesterday.
Well, I've got a question for Colin. Now, yesterday, Colin, was a shorter journey than you normally do you've not missed an away game this season. What sandwiches, if any, did you take with you? What did you have? Come on, spill the beans.
I had corned beef rolls yesterday with a bit of Branston pickle.
Bit of Branston there. Love that. I'd like to know what Colin's been eating on these away trips. Quick journey, though, wasn't it, yesterday to get out there?
Yeah, that was a funny old journey going up. Better coming back. I mean, Phil was going on about not stopping, but I was pleased, to be honest. Let's be honest about it. When you lost and everything, and that's always nice just to get home, really, But I must just comment, Gov, on what Mike said earlier, and I totally and 100% agree with him about what he was saying about. And Matt was saying about, the sing and what was going on. I must admit, I stood there, I didn't sit. I stood there feeling quite embarrassed by that.
Very odd.
There was no need for it. There was no need for that. Because when people actually like today probably step back and think about that and think about what Gov said, we're in second place. We've been fantastic all season. I think 1 or 2 of those, or even probably a lot more than that, will probably think to themselves, you know what, I embarrassed myself yesterday. Because I certainly didn't sing it, and a hell of a lot of people around me weren't singing it, and that included Emerson, his 3 daughters, obviously Chris, Mark Rattle. None of those people were singing that. It was a minority. And I think they would probably be embarrassed by it.
We had a few drinks before the game, Colin. They probably had a few drinks. Yeah. We'll forgive them for it, right?
There you go.
Can we just say a moment here? Matt Stannard has said we've invested in a USB-powered heating thing that can make hot sausage rolls in the car or chicken burgers in the car.
I don't allow food in my car, so that'd be redundant. But I mean, look, if you're in the market, I don't want crumbs, Colin. I don't want crumbs in my car, Colin. That's the way it is.
No, you're a very clean and respectable person, I would
Yeah,
imagine.
exactly. Yeah.
Is he? Right.
Of course. Colin knows. Colin knows the drill.
Oh,
Sorry, anyway.
By the way, Gav, before I forget, I know we want to speak about the West Brom game, and I agree with everything everybody said. Look, I'm the kind of person I can always hold my hands up. West Brom were good all over the pitch yesterday. What's all said and done, maybe we was poor. Yeah, we was poor, but they were very good all over the pitch. Physically strong, energetic. Got about the pitch. Corbian, very good manager, you've got to say. You know, only a couple of years older than Kieran. I think these two managers are going to be about for a long time, and I don't mean in the Championship. These two managers will be managing in the Premier League before very long. But also another thing, Gov, on a serious note here, you know I love me football, and you know I go back, and me and Matt were. Well, I text you both today about Terry. And
Altel.
Altel, bless his heart, rest in peace. I've got to say on here, I always do, Matt, Gav, as you know, maybe a bit of a representation of a person of a certain age. Obviously, I watched him as a player. I can remember watching him play for Spurs. I really can, in the '67 Cup final for Spurs against Chelsea. I know he played for Chelsea as well, but obviously I saw him play for QPR, Palace, and a very respectable manager, a very, very nice person. What I would class as, you know, like a working class football supporters man, really. Very, very good England manager. Should have maybe possibly done a little bit better than he actually did. But Terry Venables, from all Ipswich Town fans and all of Taunton Town, to your family and friends, we send our condolences, and Terry, rest in peace. He was a good man, and has to be said.
Absolutely, Colin, and certainly one of the earliest England manager that I can remember, Matt, and I've got a lot of fondness for Terry Venables, and I always thought, you know, him and my dad were very similar characters, and I just loved the way he played football, the way he coached, the way he spoke. And I've got a bit from Gary Neville here, which I'll read out in case no one's seen it on the social media, but you've got a story or two, right, about Terry Venables?
Oh, Terry Venables, yeah. I mean, he grew up in the same, I told you this earlier today, didn't I, Colin? He grew up in the same area of Dagenham as my mum. So they went to the same school. And she said she could still remember him walking down Beckingtree Avenue in Dagenham, which is where my nan and granddad lived and where my mum was brought up, when he was on the books at Chelsea as a schoolboy, and he would have the Chelsea socks, which, Colin, I think were like kind of black and blue at that time, sort of late 50s going into the 60s. He'd have them just poking out of his bag, so everyone knew that he was on their books, which I thought was great. But look, he's got a bit of an affiliation with our Bobby, hasn't he? Because they both went to Barcelona and had success there.
Sorry to interrupt, Matt, but when he'd have been at Chelsea, he'd have probably been playing with people like Barry Bridges and Bobby Tamblyn, and and Osgood maybe, absolutely,
going into the 60s,
Peter Bonetti, But I remember him playing for Spurs in the cup final because Jimmy Robertson played in that final. He scored in that final, and it weren't long after that. About a couple of years later, Bobby brought him to Ipswich on the wing with, and he also signed Frank Clark, and I think Dave Mackay was in that Tottenham side.
I think it's great, Colin, that Venables went and managed Barcelona, because if you look at the Barcelona badge mark, and they've got St George's Cross on there. It was founded by Englishmen, and you know Bobby won the Cup Winners' Cup there, I think, and I think Venables. We certainly got them to a European Cup final. I think they lost to Steaua Bucharest on penalties. You might remember that, Colin. They certainly won the Liga, but I think he brought Lineker over to that side. Mark Hughes may have been even part of that side. But there used to be a coach in Essex, grassroots coach, very well known in non-league football. I was saying you this earlier, Colin, called Ronnie Hanley. And when I was at Essex FA, I used to have to interview him a lot around the Senior Cup and stuff. And he said to me, dead serious one day, Matt, when me and Terry Venables were schoolboys, we were playing in a schoolboys game at Upton Park, and that was the night the short corner was invented. And he looks at me like really seriously. And I was like, is that correct? But I had to go with it. He invented the short corner with Roddy Hadley at Upton Park, whatever year that was, late 50s into the 60s.
That's a really great story there. But just I'd like to say, you know, what we got to do tonight and tomorrow as a fan base is, I know it's difficult. It's difficult. It's more than difficult for me after all the great stuff we've seen this season. But let's just, like Rich said to me last night, let's take it on the chin. Like a boxer, you know, who's took that big blow, but you know, but it ain't knocked you out. Ain't knocked you out, and you've come back and you've give them another couple of free, and you've got back in the fight, and that's exactly what we do on Wednesday night. We come out of that tunnel, we're back in the fight, big time. We're second with 7 points clear of Leeds, 8 points clear of Southampton. That's been said tonight. We're in a fantastic place. We've had a shocker yesterday. Come on, everybody knows that. We've had a shocker yesterday, but come on, let's come back fighting on Wednesday, Gov, and get those 3 points. Look, we think we're going to get 6 points this week. I think we are, but even if we get 4, we'll still be in a good place Saturday night.
Absolutely. Colin, we appreciate you coming on. Thanks so much for your work as always. Thank you so much. All the best. And yeah, absolutely. We'll be in a great position. 7 points, clear of third. Yeah. You know, we've had a great season. You can't get too carried away. But yeah, I always say, like, you look back on last night's match reaction show and you get a lot of people say, oh, there's a lot of negativity in here. Well, it is a match reaction. It isn't the season reaction. It's the match reaction.
You've got the adrenaline, haven't you? You've got the adrenaline
to that match. And unless you've won that match, you're always going to get a mixture of positive and negative. Some can take a more step back, wide picture view, but some can't. And it is a match reaction. But we've had a phenomenal season, Matt. Phenomenal.
We've said on here before, haven't we? Like, look, I didn't expect him to just get promoted last season. I didn't think the manager would change his tactics up enough to get us top 2. And he did. So brilliant. So this season, I'm trying to sort of just deal with wins and losses the same, really. Try and be on an even kill. The fact we're in second, when I thought we'd probably be top 10, or even just trying to consolidate in the championship, is phenomenal. And as the guys were saying earlier, you know, Colin was saying earlier, Corberan and McKenna are destined for big things. Look, we know Corberan was Bielsa's protege at Leeds. So he's been tutored by one of the best. And McKenna's come through Spurs and Man United, and you know, you got the line to Mourinho, back to Bobby. I love that as well. So I think he's destined for great things as well. But to go through a 46-game season where you don't expect to have any downs, well, you, as Mike would say, give your head a wobble, because it's 46 matches. They're intense games. You're going to come up against good sides. We came up against one yesterday, and it's only our second defeat, and we've got to late November. Everyone would have taken that. By coming up to December, you'll be second in the table. I mean, we'll be second by Saturday because we still can't be caught by Leeds. Everyone would have taken that. So it's great. And we've just got to go with the flow. Every game in isolation and see where it takes us. But it's a big period now. You know, we've got to stop the early goals. And it's a pivotal part of the season going from November into the new year. Lots of points up for grabs. So let's keep behind the boys. They've done a phenomenal job so far. Let's keep it up.
Absolutely. And there we go. The ITFC match reaction, West Brom 2, Ipswich Town 0 in the books. Third 3-word reviews on social media. You can find those after every single game along with GIF reactions. I hope to use the 3-word reviews very soon. And I also hope to have a dedicated little video package with the 3-word reviews, with the GIF reactions in every show from next Sunday. So certainly... I'm hoping I hope to have it ready for tonight. But when I uploaded it, it didn't look how I wanted it to look. So I'm going back to the drawing room. Absolutely. But please do keep taking part in those on Instagram, Facebook, and on X, formerly Twitter. 3-word reviews, gift reactions. Carry the conversation on through the week on our Discord if you're a fifth stander. If not, hit the join button on YouTube. Head to Kofi, $4.99. Sign up, cancel at any point, get access to the Discord. This man here is on it, aren't you?
Yes. And just before we go, there was a post on the Discord that had Ben Moore with Connor Chaplin and Wes Burns in the week, came and visited him in hospital, which was phenomenal.
Absolutely.
Just shows you, that just goes to show the what a great club we've got. I can't put it any more than that. Quite frankly, I think that's fantastic. You don't do that.
We absolutely
Brilliant.
have. So I hope to have 3-word reviews back to you very soon. But thank you for taking part. And Sharon Guest, last comment. Thanks for the pragmatic and sensible discussion, Martin and Matt. No problem, Sharon. No problems to the rest of the viewers. Thanks for watching. Take care. Hit the like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you during the week. Up and down.
You make me smile when I think of you. If I am down low and I am blue, I can't get enough. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. I woke up all soaked in sweat, weird chills running down my neck. I felt went crazy from just the thought of you.